Let's start our first lecture on nutrition. Nutrition 101. For the purpose of convenience, I divide food into 4 big categories: protein, fats, carbohydrates, and fruits and vegetables. Let's talk about protein a little bit. So protein. The main source of protein on our table for us, for humans, is meat, fish, dairy products, eggs, nuts and seeds, nuts plus seeds, and for vegetarian, brown rice, br stays for brown rice plus beans. Okay, and I want to circle this. I want to specify it's for vegetarian because but I will talk about that about the structure in a second, and you will understand why. So proteins are made out of individual amino acids. So when you look under the microscope, protein is basically connection of many different amino acids. We have 23 different type of amino acid. So let's suppose this amino acid is glycine. This is lysine. This is proline. This is arginine. So, and they all are different. So glycine, all glycines amino acids will look like that. All lysines, they will look like that. Proline will look like that, and arginine, let's say it will look like that. Okay, so they are connected. Connection of individual amino acids to each other called a primary structure. So primary structure of the protein. When the protein becomes very long, it's actually called peptide. Rather than being nice and linear structure, it's get kind of folded into two. So individual amino acids sits right here, and they form connection between these two lines, and this structure called secondary structure of the protein. Finally, when that secondary structure turns in the space into three-dimensional structure, that called tertiary. Tertiary comes from the number 3. Most of the protein are tertiary structures. Many proteins are combined. So let's say this is one protein and combined with some other protein, so they are connected to each other. This is their connection, and this structure of the protein called quaternary, okay, which means number 4. So 2 or more three-dimensional proteins connected to each other, and it's a quaternary structure. So meat and fish, when we eat them, we basically eat quaternary and tertiary protein, and they are muscles. And if you look further under the microscope, each muscle looks like that. This is called protein, long protein here, or long polypeptide called actin, and between here actins there is other protein called myosin, and that's what is your basic structure of the muscle. Okay, myosin. This is a myosin. Okay, myosin. So the as we put into our mouth meat, fish, dairy products such as milk, yogurt, sour cream, butter, eggs, or nuts and seeds, or brown rice and beans, then that food goes through the digestive tract. As a result, quaternary proteins are broken down. So here is the connections between them broken down. Then tertiary protein is broken down into secondary structure, and eventually, by the effect of pancreatic enzymes and other enzymes in our digestive tract, protein is broken down. Actually, digestive enzymes called protease break that peptide into individual amino acids, and those individual amino acids, that's what we absorb, and that individual amino acid get delivered into our cells, and that's the time when we build and rebuild our cells. So from individual amino acid, we start to build our own muscles. So muscles, bicep and tricep, is made out of the food that you just ate today. It's made out of pork, beef, fish, eggs, and rice and beans. Rice and beans in combination, by themselves, they don't have combination of 23 different amino acids. For people who are vegetarian, in order to have a complete protein or functional protein that makes sure that we have a different kinds of amino acids to build our complete protein, we need 23 different amino acids. So if you don't eat combination of brown rice and beans, you cannot be sure that you can build our own muscles very well. So let's give an example of protein in our body. What organs and structures are made? A good example, so biceps, triceps, so all of these muscles that you exercise every other day is made out of protein. Heart is made out of, heart muscles is a protein made out of individual amino acids. Connective tissues are made out of protein. Immune system uses a lot of protein, and you may know that antibodies that will help to fight bacteria or virus or fungus is pure protein. Number 4, many hormones made out of protein. Neurotransmitters in the brain, neurotransmitters made out of amino acids. And bone is made out of protein. So when you look under the microscope on the bone, it's basically looks like that. This is your flat bone, and here is your bone. Does it look like a bone? Yeah. So bone has this protein. Structure of the bone is protein, and then calcium and other minerals, magnesium and other micro elements, and strontium, they all sit here among the protein structure. That's what makes a bone very strong. If you will try to build bone only out of calcium and other minerals, they basically will be uncombined. I mean, they will flow in the air, so you cannot build. So you need protein structure. So when I see vegetarian patients in my practice, I ask all kinds of questions to trying to figure out, do they get enough protein from the diet? And if I see either clinically or on laboratory work problems such as chronic bacterial or viral infection, okay, or sleep problems due to neurotransmitters, so because they are made out of, or quite often I see vegetarians or women who become menopausal, they have more pronounced symptoms of osteoporosis and osteopenia. So I recommend these patients to do either take supplements of protein. It comes usually in the box from health food store. Could be whey protein, not my favorite, but it could be rice protein, it could be hemp protein, and other vegetarian proteins, or just try to eat meat in small portions, maybe once or twice per week, grass-fed beef, and no hormone and antibiotic-fed pork, So see if they become better. So I'm done with my first lecture on protein, and I will see you at the next lecture on the topic of fats.